This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in Liverpool. I am in the room of Commonwealth Title challenger Chris Billam-Smith, who features on Saturday's bill. Chris, been a while. How are you, mate?
Very well, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Very good, thank you for asking. As mentioned, you're challenging for the Commonwealth Title Saturday against Craig Glover in Liverpool. Talk to me about the making of this fight. I know after the Riakporhe fight, you were looking at perhaps a takeover fight, a 4 or 6 rounder, and this came about. Talk to me about it.
They planned for me to have a takeover, which truthfully I wasn't. I understand you need them, but I wasn't over the moon about. But thankfully, this came up. Shane called me, and I was over the moon and he said we've been offered Glover for Commonwealth Title providing Lawrence come through, which we obviously knew he would. So then I jumped at the opportunity, got really excited, and here we are now.
It's interesting you said that you weren't too keen perhaps on the idea of a takeover fight going on the back of the Riakporhe fight. Did you feel it was important to, even though it was a loss, a tight loss, it was important to sort of capitalise on that momentum? Like your stock did go up in that fight, even though it was a loss. Did you feel it was important to just get straight back in there?
Yeah, I loved the whole build up to that fight and everything, and then you go away from that. So this is another great opportunity for me. Obviously the Commonwealth title on the line, and it's a decent belt. Craig's a good lad, and this is exactly the sort of fight I can get proper bang up for.
Just going back to that Riakporhe night briefly, as mentioned, you didn't get the win, but there was so much praise coming your way, not just online, but I remember we were in the hotel after the fight, and not only were fans coming up to you in droves sort of congratulating you on your performance and saying they were impressed, but fighters were as well. I can remember, I'm sure you won't mind me saying, David Price came up and said a few nice words to yourself. What was that like to sort of process for you, knowing that you'd had your first professional defeat, but at the same time you're getting so much praise for it as well?
Yeah, it was. That was echoed online as well. It was obviously great to have the boxing community that night. Even Dillian White came up to me and he said he'd heard great things about the fight, and obviously, like you said, David Price as well. But yeah, even online, there was, from what I saw online, a lot of people were saying on all the Sky Sports boxing tweets about it and stuff. Were saying a lot of people fancied me, as in they had me winning that fight and stuff. So yeah, it was good, and there was some funny tweets about it as well, with Bet365 coming in with the cement mixer about my chin. So it was funny, but the stock definitely rose in that fight, and I felt like I got a good rep off of it, and looking to improve that again on Saturday.
Obviously, we're looking to improve your reputation Saturday, as you've just mentioned, but is it now about not only sort of captivating that audience, but winning as well, and perhaps conclusively winning? Are you looking for a conclusive win after such a tight fight last time out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that this is what we've planned. This fight is exactly that, a conclusive win, and the performance and the game plan that we're putting into place will definitely bring that on Saturday night, and and then from there it's the ball's in my court with regards to going forward and stuff, and I can't wait for Saturday.
Style-wise, how do you think it's going to play out compared to the last time we saw you in the ring in the Riakporhe fight? There was a lot of sort of wrestling and holding on the inside. Are you expecting this to be a bit more free-flowing and to give and take perhaps a few more shots in this fight? Yeah,
I've said it in previous interviews. I've said that I expect to get hit more in this fight, because obviously, like you said, there was less. I think there'll be less holding. There's a lot of holding in the last fight, and but I think I'll be landing more as well, and I think it'll make for a really exciting fight. But I think you'll see a lot more of me in this fight, because I'll be able to get my work off better, and there's things I learned in the last fight, and there's a few adjustments I've had to make. So I think this fight will show a different side to me, and it won't be the same. A lot of people, maybe even Craig's team, will look at the last fight and think it was a good performance and whatnot, but they might plan for that Chris Billam-Smith, and I think it'll be a slightly different one in there on Saturday night.
I can remember when you spoke to Rob when this fight was announced, he asked you if you had any reservations about coming and fighting a Scouser in Liverpool and sort of being the away fighter. You and I spoke about it off camera earlier. I said, does it play any sort of a part in your head? And You interestingly said to me it probably won't feel like much of an away fight. I've probably got just as many people coming as him. Do you expect it to be that way?
Yeah, I've got a few people coming up, so they'll make some noise. Obviously, there'll be a lot of Scousers in there anyway, which are going to back their people, even if they haven't come to watch Craig specifically. So, once you're in the ring, it doesn't matter. It's the crowd doesn't do anything. It was great beforehand. In my last fight, I had a great fan base there, and they're making great noise. But then, when I watch the fight back, you can hear him chanting my name in the first, second, third, and fourth round on the Sky cameras. So, but on the night, I don't remember hearing any of that. So it makes no difference to me. I've got a job to do once I'm in there, and once that first bell goes, that's what I'll be doing.
We now know the Commonwealth title will be on the line. Your stablemate Lawrence Okoli has vacated. It's a belt that obviously he had, a couple of real stablemates have had in the past. Still considered a very prestigious sort of domestic title. How much would it mean to you to claim that belt Saturday night?
Yeah, it'd be great. It's my 11th fight now, so it's it's time to pick up a belt. And Commonwealth title is a great belt, and like you said, there's great names that have won it in the past. Like you said, in the gym, see Lawrence had it. The cruiserweight one obviously last, and then Josh Taylor won it. George had it. Campbell won it. So yeah, you've got all the lads in the gym have had it. So now it's my time.
Now, I've been down there from even when you made your professional debut in Bournemouth, your hometown down there on the south coast, and the noise for that was unbelievable. The atmosphere was great. They were getting behind you from very early. If you were able to capture the Commonwealth title, not to look too far ahead, do you think it could be realistic that you could be headlining a show down there with the Commonwealth title as well going into 2020?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to make a defence of my belt back home if I can't get immediate fight or with the winner of Riakporhe Massey. I believe there's a final eliminator for that being fought the same night, so I might not be able to get an immediate fight with the winner of that fight. So yeah, I could do a defence back home, and I'd love that. As you said, the fans down there have been great, and I actually have more fans for my last fight up in London to like tickets wise. I've sold, obviously it's a much bigger card, but sold more tickets for that than I have any of my other fights in Bournemouth, and they made great noise, and they're a great bunch of people down there that come and support me. And then to have a home show, I think we'd do very well on tickets, and there's a few local fighters down there. So obviously my stablemate Jack Killier as well, who's from Southampton just up the road. He could fight on the undercard, and then the other lads down there got Lee Cutler, he's pushing now to looking maybe at a Southern area shot and stuff like that. And he's only had 6 fights, I think. He's got 7th one the week after me. So yeah, there's some talent down there, down Bournemouth and Southampton. So the Southampton boys have to come and fight in Bournemouth though. As long as they're happy to do that. Then yeah, we can put on a good show down there, and love to have a big show down there, and maybe get television involved and make some history, because I don't think there's been a televised TV show in Bournemouth before.
What I found interesting there was you mentioned Richard Riakporhe. Obviously, he's tied up. Anything could happen on that bill in December. That said, is it still sort of near the top of your list to, down the line, avenge that loss and get back in the ring with him?
Yes, it's every fighter, that you when you have a dispute, like a contentious loss, or people, controversial loss, and they believe they can do better. And look at George against Froch, perfect example. He was stopped early in that fight, and he was up on the cards, so he got that rematch immediately, and obviously didn't end too well in the rematch. But that's what, as fighters, that's what you want. You want the rematch straight away, even if you get beat soundly. You still want the rematch sometimes. And Luke Campbell, I know, is looking for the Loma rematch in a few fights time. So that's just any fight would say. Anthony Fowler's another one. Obviously wants the Scott Fitzgerald fight, and that's just how we're bred as fighters. You don't fight to lose, and when you do get beat, you want that rematch. So it's definitely one I'm looking for in the future.
Just moving away from yourself, Chris, top in the bill that you're on Saturday night, Callum Smith defended his WBA and Ring Magazine titles against John Ryder. General consensus, it's a big ask for John Ryder, but he is in the form of his career. How do you see the fight playing out? What's your prediction for the fight?
I saw John Ryder at the public workout today, and I've seen Callum before, and I just think size comes into it. I think Callum Smith is, well, I know he's massive for the weight. I think he might even be a little bit taller than me, and he's 2 weight divisions below me, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's cruiserweight down to super middle, it's a big jump. It's 32 pounds, so that's a big jump in weight, and he's as tall as me, so he's massive for the weight. And John Ryder's not massive in height, and he punches quite short, generates a lot of power, is very talented, was a decent amateur as well, has got the background. Obviously Callum Smith has also got a very good amateur background, and what he's done since turning pro, obviously beat George last year in a good performance, and he hasn't put a foot wrong really. A couple of fights he's been, like the Nicky Holston fight, he got a bit of stick for, but then he's gone and put on other displays like he did against George, and I think Callum will come out on top. I think he's good. He's very, very technically sound. He punches very well. He's a solid super middleweight. He's massive for the weight. Like I said, he punches well and he punches hard, and I think fancy him to maybe even stop Ryder in the middle rounds.
Another big fight we got on this weekend. Deontay Wilder, Wilder-Ortiz rematch. It seems like yesterday we were sat in a very snowy hotel in Glasgow after Josh Taylor's fight with Winston Campos, watching that first fight, one of the heavyweight fights of the year, unbelievable action. When the rematch was first announced, it wasn't everyone's particular cup of tea given the conclusive knockout in the first fight, but as we got closer, people seemed to be a bit more drawn to it and a bit more unsure. We've seen these photos of Ortiz looking in unbelievable shape. Your thoughts on that fight? Do you think it could be a potential banana skin?
It always is with Ortiz. No one actually knows how old he is or what he's done for his career with regards to stuff he's taken. Obviously, he failed a drugs test and stuff, but I think Wilder actually get rid of him earlier this time. I think that last time he would have caught him, and if Ortiz had managed to get rid of him, like when he had him hurt, he would have caught him just at that right time. But he obviously just missed the boat with that one. Now I think Wilder's a bit more mature. He's had different styles of fights, and he's believing in himself even more. And I just think Ortiz he's that little bit older, probably into his late 60s now, and and he's I just think Wilder will finish him in probably similar middle rounds.
Chris, I'll leave the final word to you ahead of Saturday night. For those travelling up to watch yourself, for those tuning in on Sky Sports, what can we expect to see from the gentleman when he challenges for the Commonwealth title?
Not much gentlemanly stuff, just the man. No gentle involved. So it'll be explosive on Saturday night, and I hope all my fans coming up enjoy it.
Chris, thank you very much as always for making time for Boxing Social. All the best.